rain is moving out, but the humidity is not going to follow it. Find out how long we're going to have to wait for relief. Karen.
Breaking news as a house explodes on Detroit's east side. New information on the impact and an injured firefighter. Also tracking the battle over Aretha Franklin's estate. What's going to happen with those handwritten wills that were found? We have an update from court. First at 4.
Local 4 News begins right now with a breaking news alert.
Good afternoon, I'm Karen Drew. We are tracking breaking news on Detroit's east side where a house exploded just before 1:30. Sky 4 shows us the damage and the debris. This happened at Haberville and Linville. We're told the house that exploded was engulfed in flames. It was vacant, but there are neighbors on both sides, and those homes are also damaged. Now, fortunately, none of the residents were hurt. One firefighter suffered a knee injury. Firefighters are looking for the cause. DTE says it did not receive any complaints about a gas leak before the blast. Our Tim Pamplin's on the scene, and we'll have the latest information tonight at 5. We're also following breaking news on a young man considered missing and endangered. The Oakland University Police Department says he could be a threat to himself or others and may have access to weapons. So take a look at your screen. They're looking for this man, 25-year-old Alexander Walker. He was last seen on Oakland University's East Campus, and that was on Saturday, August 3rd. His family says he may be suffering from mental issues, so if you see him, contact the Oakland University Police Department immediately. Now, let's move to the first forecast. We have seen some rain on the radar. It should clear up in a few hours, and Ben Bailey is here to guide us through what we can expect. Hey, Ben.
Yeah, Karen, we would like to see that humidity, I'm sure, drop beyond these showers, but that's not going to happen. The cold front that came through was just kind of a fake today. Did scare up these showers, and that is about it. At least we missed out on some of the rougher stuff, even though we still have some rain around the city and maybe up here towards the Grosse Points. A lot of this is going to be gone here within the hour. All the rough stuff remains across northern parts of Ohio, south of Cleveland. That's where they have the severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. So it wasn't far away, but we missed out on that. Temperatures are going to stay in the 70s, and the humidity is going to be sticking around tonight, too. We will be talking about fog potential for tomorrow morning's commute and when the humidity finally drops, coming up in a few minutes. Karen?
All right, thank you, Ben. Now on to breaking news on the estate of Aretha Franklin. Her family has been in court all this afternoon for a hearing on the different wills that have emerged. A judge is hearing arguments from lawyers representing different members of the Franklin family on who should take control of the estate. Franklin apparently hand-wrote multiple wills naming different members of the family as the representative of her estate. The hearing continues at this hour. We have a reporter inside the courtroom, and we'll bring you the very latest tonight at 5. Oakland County is coming together to say goodbye to longtime Oakland County Executive Brooks Patterson. Right now, a public viewing is being held at the Conference Center of the Brooks Patterson building on Pontiac Lake Road in Waterford. Today's public viewing goes until 7. Patterson passed away Saturday after a battle with pancreatic cancer. His funeral is scheduled for next Thursday, and it is open to the public. Former Macomb County Clerk Karen Spranger was back in court today, and she was 45 minutes late for her hearing. Spranger is charged with larceny after allegedly stealing more than $1,500 from a friend. Her lawyer said Spranger was late because she doesn't have a car and couldn't find a ride. The judge told Spranger if she can't be on time, she could end up behind bars, so the court knows where she is. Spranger waived the preliminary hearing and will be back in court August 19th. We saw it happen after the Parkland school shooting, and it may be happening again. Well, 2 mass shootings in 13 hours actually changed the debate over guns. First, the latest from El Paso, Texas, and Dayton, Ohio, where 31 people were gunned down over the weekend. The suspect in El Paso has been assigned a public defender, and the city has opened up a community center to help families with counseling, travel assistance, as well as financial support. Now in Dayton, the Republican governor of Ohio is proposing new gun legislation. Devin Skillion's in the newsroom tracking that gun debate and joins us now with the very latest. Devin.
Well, Karen, as always, the battle over any gun control will be fought on 2 fronts, in Washington, D.C. and then at the state level as well. Today, Senate Democrats pressuring Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to let the U.S. Senate vote on some gun bills that have already been passed by the House.
But when you have an issue where 90% of the American people want it done, And the American people are literally crying because of what they saw this weekend. To me, just do the right thing, let it come to a vote on the Senate floor, and let the chips fall where they may.
Congressman Peter King and Senator Chuck Schumer making that bipartisan plea in front of a Walmart on Long Island. So far, Senator McConnell not budging on allowing the vote. The Senate is on its summer recess just now. Ohio's governor not waiting for Congress to act, though. Republican Mike DeWine urging Ohio's Republican-led legislature to pass laws requiring background checks on almost all gun sales and restrict access for people who are perceived as threats.
Some chanted, do something. And they were absolutely right. We must do something. And that is exactly what we are going to do.
In the past, Ohio Republicans gave really little consideration to gun laws proposed by Democrats. But Karen, you'll recall Florida pretty quickly passed new gun laws after the shooting in Parkland that killed 17 people at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. So time will tell if we've reached perhaps another tipping point and if it'll change anything in Washington. Karen, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Devin. Author, educator, and Nobel Prize winner Toni Morrison has died at the age of 88. Morrison had an incredible career that spanned 6 decades. In 1993, she became the first African-American woman to win a Nobel Prize for literature. Her works include Beloved, The Bluest Eyes, Jazz, and Song of Solomon. In 2012, President Obama awarded her the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Today, he tweeted his condolences, calling Morrison a national treasure. A new study today offers an alarming statistic for the African-American community and for all of us to consider. It finds police force is the 6th leading cause of death for young black men. The University of Michigan was involved in that research, and Paula Tutman now digs into the results and what it means here in Metro Detroit.
You're looking at a class, the Ball Foundation's Surviving Your Stop class, a workshop that teaches specifically young black men how to interact with police during traffic stops.
Black males seem to be getting killed by police more than white males, at least what I read in the news.
Damon Grimes, a 15-year-old Michigan teen tased by a Michigan State trooper. Eric Garner, an unarmed man asphyxiated by police in New York. The anecdotal numbers spurred the creation of Black Lives Matter, with the idea that a black person or a person of color is less likely to survive an encounter with police than a white person.
If nothing else, you just look at history.
But now a research team has looked at the empirical data gleaned from public records requests, media coverage, and existing statistics, and the analytics are disturbing. That black men are 2.5 times more likely to be killed by police than white men, and that death by police officer is the 6th leading cause of death for black men.
Wow. The 6th leading cause? That's incredible.
We found that black men have the highest risk nationally.
Dr. Michael Esposito is a researcher at the University of Michigan and co-authored the study.
That translates to about 1 out of 1,000 black men will be killed by police over their life course.
What the analytics don't take into consideration is armed or unarmed, threat or no threat, suspect or no suspect. The data is simply numbers crunching. Who died as a direct result of a police action, what race they were, what gender they were.
The numbers are there. It's not random chance, like these are systematic and like significant disparities.
Wayne County Sheriff Benny Napoleon has 37 years as a lawman. He says he needs to see more of the study to understand how it should impact his department.
Well, I mean, it's obviously it's something that's important. It is informative. I'd have to look at more of the information to obviously make a total informed decision about what it means. Certainly, it's not something that we haven't been discussing in law enforcement.
With all the different ways that a person can, find their demise, that's the 6th leading cause? Wow. That's scary. What do I tell my son?
So this study could very well have national implications because it is the first of its kind that takes away the guess, and I think, and I thought I saw, and I wonder, and really crunches that empirical data in research terms and a form and actually gives a result. The question now, what happens next? Back to you.
Exactly, a very important question following that study and what it found. We appreciate it. Thank you, Paula.